I think I might have just had the worst night of my life. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, man. In this video, we're not going to be talking about a hockey story or news, something that happened in the NHL, none of that, because I might have just gone through maybe the worst physical experience I've had to endure in the past 25 years of my life? Something like that? I don't know. My brain right now is totally scattered around thinking about me and thinking about my own well-being as a human being, so I wanted to go out there and make a narrative commentary about that, since if I had to force myself to talk about some hockey news at this time, I probably would not be able to survive. So right now it's 8:12 a.m. in the morning Vancouver time as I am recording this, and my past 8 hours have been frightening, dizzying, and quite cathartic all at the same time. And I'm sorry if y'all are a little bit sensitive to this kind of stuff, but right now I think I'm going through maybe the worst batch of food poisoning I've ever gone through. And it all started last night, bled into roughly about 1 a.m. in the morning, and has consistently gone on until now. Let's take a bit of a blast of the past to learn where everything came from. So Saturday and Sunday, I was out and about with my folks on a trip to the States, as I frequently do. Once in a while, I'll say that I'm out and about and I have to pre-record videos for the weekend. It usually just means I'm on a trip, and I needed to pre-record audio to get things up on the channel on the days that I'm gone. I have not missed uploading a video on a day in about 6 or 7 years. Every single day for the past 6 or 7 years, there has been at least one YouTube video on this channel, and I take a lot of pride in that, firstly because I know the YouTube algorithm is killer if you allow your channel to fade away, but also because I just kind of like doing this, and I like getting money, and I like being able to express my thoughts about stuff. So I pre-recorded a bunch of videos for Saturday and Sunday, and eventually, yesterday, Sunday, we ended up coming back over to Canada here after a nice little getaway to visit some family. Love my folks. I got some baby nieces over there. They are so cute. And then all my cousins and everybody else. You know, Filipinos got big families, right? But on the trip back yesterday, driving north on I-5 into Highway 99, I was already kind of feeling a little bit, not necessarily like bad, but just sort of tired and a little drowsy. Maybe it was the way I was positioned sitting in the back seat. Maybe it was whatever lack of sleep I had gotten the night before, because sleeping on an air mattress that was deflating certainly is not the move, I'll tell you right there. But ultimately, coming back to Canada, I was feeling a little bit off. Not so off in the sense that I knew something was wrong, but I was like, you know what? I think I might need to go for a late night run or something just to get my body back up in there. But ultimately, upon arriving home, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty crappy right here. A little bit dizzy, a little bit drowsy. Maybe it's not necessarily the best time to go for a run. Yesterday, I ended up eating a burger from Denny's as breakfast, and also had a McChicken from McDonald's, an American McChicken, not the McChicken that we have over here, essentially a junior chicken. Not to mention a bubble tea and a can of root beer. That's all I had to eat yesterday. And coming back over to Canada, I was kind of, you know, just settling back in, getting the laptop perched up, hooking up the microphone, trying to think to myself, you know, I gotta make videos for tomorrow morning. What are we gonna talk about? Is there any Canadian stories or Red Wing stories to go out there and dive into? But ultimately, my night took a turn for the worse when I was wrapping up some of my nightly chores. And whilst I was doing my chores, in the background I had the second episode of Love Life, Season 1, playing in the background. And this is an important detail, because I was watching some TV just in the background, doing whatever it was I was doing, and on the TV show, this is maybe where my empathetic side comes through, because on the TV show, Season 1, Episode 2, Anna Kendrick plays a character who absolutely embarrasses herself in this TV show. She is at her boyfriend's dad's wake, who had recently passed away, and it was really emotional, and she was getting jealous because the ex was there and everybody was paying attention to the ex and not her. And so Anna Kendrick's character in this TV show ended up totally embarrassing herself in front of her boyfriend's family at her boyfriend's father's wake. And while I was watching that, I ended up stopping my chores. I was just like, oh boy, this is big stuff right here in the TV show I was watching. And you know how sometimes when you're experiencing something so embarrassing or you're getting so much secondhand embarrassment that pit in your stomach starts to open up and descend all the way to the bottom of the ocean. You know how sometimes you could just feel it in your stomach? Oh, that's terrible. That's a bad move. Anna Kendrick's character did that in the TV show, and I felt that emotion in my stomach so deeply. And inevitably, when the episode finished and it went over onto the next episode, that pit in my stomach just did not go away. And then I noticed, I was like, I'm feeling a lot more dizzy now compared to maybe 30 minutes ago. I'm feeling a lot more drowsy. I'm feeling really tired. Something's wrong here. And so I ended up making myself 1 scrambled egg and 1 toast. And I forced myself to eat it. I only ate half of it. Then I had myself a small cup of milk, and I was like, I need to go to bed. Like, my stomach has dropped so much. I'm feeling bad. I need to go to bed. We can record tomorrow morning's video tomorrow morning, so I'll set an alarm and whatever. But shortly after 1 a.m., I was like, oh boy, this is bad. I was trying to fall asleep, but I was already feeling something was going on in my digestive tract. And eventually, it got to the point where I forced myself up, was starting to get extremely dizzy. I was fine when I was lying down, still kind of wheezy a little bit, but when I stood up, I was like, oh, this is bad. Rushed over to the bathroom, and I ended up hurling for a total of maybe like 20 seconds straight, and then I paused, and then I did it again for another 20 seconds. It was like a fire hose. Everything just escaped from the top of my digestive tract. Everything that I had eaten and drank over the past 24, maybe even 48 hours. And then right after that, I was like, oh, the other side of my digestive tract has stuff that's trying to escape too. So I quickly put the toilet seat down and did the other stuff, and that was liquidy too, and it all had just escaped out of there. And that was terrifying. Like being sat on the toilet, having just hurled so much, unaware if I'm going to hurl suddenly again, but there's stuff coming out of the other side there. And inevitably, after just kind of letting everything settle down, I was like, okay, I got to go to bed. Like, this is not the right thing for me to be awake right now. Don't worry, folks, I did not do the ill-fated sin of brushing my teeth after having just hurled. Please do not brush your teeth after you had just thrown up, because the stomach acid getting pressed against your teeth there is not good at all. Let your saliva do the work in filtering everything out and just watering everything down. But after going back to bed at about 1:30-ish, I was like, okay, I kind of need to just try to get back to sleep here. I will say, after having hurled and done the other thing in the span of about, let's say, 10 minutes or so, I felt a lot better, a lot more just kind of awake and able to move, and I was feeling less lightheaded ultimately. But upon going back to sleep, I was like, okay, let's see how my body reacts. And ultimately, I did have to go back up to the bathroom another time to hurl some more and then do the other thing one more time as well. I was able to sleep for maybe a few hours on and off after that at about 3:50 a.m. in the morning, and now it's 8 a.m. in the morning, and I just needed to go to the bathroom again. So for me personally, just the physical experience of going through that and having just so much stuff execrated from my body in a very short while. I think I lost like 5 pounds. It's pretty bad to lose 5 pounds in 8 hours, but ultimately, this is sort of what I'm going through right now, and if y'all can understand that I might not be in the best headspace to make videos about hockey right now, then I apologize for that. I really appreciate your understanding there. There still are some important things to talk about, though. The Canucks are playing off against the New Jersey Devils, and that's going to be an important game. We have some stories to talk about with Montreal, but ultimately for me, I think what's best is I need to be lying down. I need to be drinking this bottle of water here and just trying to survive, because dehydrating myself with oodles and oodles of vomit and other stuff leaving my body, it's not the best way to go out, so yeah, I'm a 24, turning 25-year-old guy that just had a really bad case of stomach food poisoning, and we'll see what happens over the next little while here. Sorry for the unconventional, non-hockey related video, but sometimes I do like to get interpersonal with y'all here, so thoughts in the comment section below about whatever you want to talk about today. Canucks stuff, Canadian stuff, Red Wings stuff, I don't know. It's all up to you. Let me know in the comments what do you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trash Roll 99. And Bye.